We have people who are monitoring the various reserves and other areas for us, and the water bodies. They give us periodic updates with pictures. And so with Tano-Anwia, if you remember, the backstory is that elements in the previous administration, the MPP government, invaded that part of the forest.
Sure.
In fact, in the Awin municipality, an MPP executive sent Chinese miners there illegally, and they destroyed a large part of it. Now, when power changed hands, we realized that there are groups who are, and let me mention here, NDC groups, who claim their party has come to power, and so they are also taking over and they are mining. We've also heard of certain elements who are reaching out to the galamsey kingpins who were working and fronting for the previous administration, that they were going to work with them. Now, subsequently, we've seen them pitch camp in the forest and have done a lot of damage to the forest already, and they are still doing it. In fact, when I investigated, I found out that every person I spoke with was mentioning the name of the MP for our win. And so I reached out to him and asked him about it. But he has denied involvement. He rather admits that, yes, he has advocated that if they are giving people the chance to mine, then they should also give these boys, who he describes as party boys, to us a chance to also mine. And I've been asking him whether that does not amount to endorsing an illegality, because these groups do not have any licenses and cannot follow the roadmap as enshrined in our laws concerning how to mine in a forest reserve. In fact, since then, one group led by one Karim, a known NDC activist, has pitched camp in one section of the forest. There is another one called Baron, who has also pitched camp in another side of the forest. There is one they call Mahama Bodyguard, who is also equally, his real name is Eugene, also pitching camp with his groups, to the extent that they've been fighting with guns, and 2 people have already died from their own lot, and the destruction still goes on. To me, that is what is worrying, especially coming out of a regime that paid no heed to the destruction that has gone on in our forest.
Now, you say that anybody you spoke to, all the persons you spoke to, pointed fingers at the Member of Parliament. What specifically did the Member of Parliament for this area? And if you're talking about the Awin constituency, it means you're talking about the Honorable Oscar Ofori-Labi, right?
Yes.
What did he say to you when you spoke to him?
Well, so specifically, he told me that he is not involved in any way. And I asked him the questions. First, I wanted to find out whether he has no interest at all in mining in the area. He said no. And whether he has not spoken with even the concessionaire on granting him a part of the area to mine. That information I got from the ground. He said no. He has never called that concessionaire. There are key people within the party I spoke with who were all confirming that those boys are his boys. So when
you say key people within the party, which party, Erastus?
I'm referring to the NDC party in our win.
Okay.
And he said that he knows them, those who are mining there, he knows them to be party boys. And that at one point in time, he had advocated that if they were giving chance to other people to mine in the forest, then they should equally give those boys a chance to mine. And that's why I asked him whether that is not condoning an illegality and supporting an illegality. And he said, well, he just advocated and he has no interest or involved in any way. But, Winston, my point is that, you see, mining in the forest reserve, it's a very restricted business. The Forestry Commission guards the various forests with their lives. In fact, there are forest guards who will be able to even fish out somebody who is cutting a tree, just a single tree in the forest, and they will be able to fish you out. Not alone cutting excavators, over 17 of them, into that forest. If you do not have any strong political backing or strong force behind you, you will never be able to achieve that. And that is what has happened in the previous era, where people who were powerful in government supported certain key individuals within the party to take excavators into the forest to destroy it. And that is my premise, that we should not be condoning that kind of impunity. In fact, as we speak, the Apamprama Forest Reserve has lost about 50% of it. They are now pits and gullies. We are now looking for money to reclaim, and we are talking about millions of dollars. Already, the $103 million that came from the World Bank for that restoration project, I have checked on the ground. I have not seen it. I'm challenging the previous administration. If they used it for restoration, they should come up and show us where they did that reclamation with the money so we can go and check. But we are creating more conditions for more loss to the taxpayer. Because as we keep on invading these forests and digging haphazardly and mining illegally, we are creating more key areas for reclamation, which is very expensive. And already we are not even getting any tax from these illegalities that we are perpetrating. So I really think that this calls for an emergent situation.
Your call has been put on hold. Please
and
wait.
Already I am happy that
Your
after
call has been
I
put on
posted
hold.
it on my
Please
Facebook
wait.
page and did the story on Joy, I'm having key people in government at the seat of government calling. And in fact, they are giving me a roadmap that is starting today that they are going to go on the ground. I am happy, and I'm still
that
monitoring
roadmap
to
that
see
you
what will
talk
happen.
about, Erastus, that roadmap that you talk about, finally, what is it?
Well, they are telling me that starting from today, they are going to move on the ground and they are going to flush those people out. They also say they are not going to do things like the previous administration and that they are going to work with us. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good start because in the previous administration, even when we sent our works to the various ministers in their WhatsApp portfolios, they never responded. They never reached out to even say, we're going to work with you, or we are acting on this, or we are acting on that. So that's a bold step. It's a good step.
Okay.
But I'm baiting my breath to see what will happen at the end of today and in the course of the coming days concerning our polluted rivers and the invasion of our forest reserves.
Now, finally, so you say following the change of government, some of these boys have also moved into the forest, believing now that they can also degrade the forest, damage the forest in search of gold.
Exactly, and it's not limited to one forest. In fact, after airing that story, I'm hearing a lot of reports with pictures from the Takwa area, from the Dumping area, parts of the western region, even the Tano-Anwia Forest Reserve, where Chema to me invaded illegally. They have also invaded that place as well. They've gone to the Yoyo Forest Reserve, also within the Samreboy enclave, and they've invaded those parts as well.
Okay.
And that is where I think a strong statement from the current administration to show that they will not condone that impunity will revert across the entire galamsey field and send a strong message out there to people that this is not the way to go.
All right, Erastus Asare-Donkor, thank you very much for joining us. We know that you would, keep following up on this. We'll definitely come back to you.